Welcome to the Town of Amenia Reorganization meeting on January 4th, 2016. Please rise. Oh, wait, no, we're not going to rise and salute the flag. What I'm going to do is read the legal notice. Town of Amenia Reorganizational meeting of the Amenia Town Board is scheduled for Monday, January 4th, 2016 at 7:30 p.m. at the Amenia Town Hall, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. And now we'll all take our oaths of office.
Would you all raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
That I, say your name. Do solemnly will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office, state the office that you've been elected to, of the Town of Amenia, according to the best of my ability.
Yes.
You are sworn.
Can we get a group shot, Your Honor? Can you come next to Victoria? The paper wasn't able to make it, so I'm going to ask.
Not with me.
It's not a professional camera. And Victoria, Becky, and the supervisor. You sometimes just sign them and then pass them back on.
I'll put them in the box and make copies. Thank you. Cheaper, it's cheaper. See?
Now that we've done that, we can now rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Emergency exits are to my right, behind the town clerk, and also the door you came in. Roll, please.
Councilman Delango?
Here.
Going to try to do in different order. Councilwoman Doyle?
Here.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Here.
Supervisor Prodi?
Here.
And noted that Councilman Hitzelberger is not here yet or absent. She come.
Okay, what we usually do is everybody
Nope.
takes a motion to read, and we'll just go right around the table. I'll start. Motion to accept Town of Amenia Rules of Procedure, Committee Guidelines, and Procurement Policy. I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
And absent. And Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Motion to establish date, time, place for scheduled town board meetings. Make that motion.
Okay, you want to read
Can you
what
read
the
that?
meetings are?
Business workshop, first Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. Regular meeting, third Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. Place Town Hall, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York, 12501.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
No seat for me?
Yes.
Or there? There. I guess you're there.
Go ahead.
Motion to establish
Elected official salaries as noted. Supervisor, $23,307.24. Councilman, councilwoman, 4 positions, $5,814.57. Sole assessor, $29,686.93. Justices, 2, $17,405.22. Town clerk, $29,262.73. Highway superintendent, $58,778.06.
And second?
I'll second.
I second it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilman Hitzelberger? Abstain. Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Motion to appoint Denise Fitzpatrick, Esquire, as town attorney. Denise Fitzpatrick, Esquire, attorney to the town, general, $180 per hour. Litigation, $210 per hour. Paralegals will be paid $80 per hour.
And second?
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
No.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger? Abstain. Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes. Motion to accept appointments and salaries as noted. A, appointments with salaries. Bookkeeper Marge Arnold, 21 hours a week, $16 an hour. Alternate per diem bookkeeper Lorna Sherman, $25 an hour. Bank reconciliation clerk Valerie Kulikowski, bookkeeper's office, 2 hours a week, $15.45 an hour. Treasurer to Water District Katrina Gore Alexander, $3,926.85 salary. Clerk to Water District Tara Morey, $3,926.85 salary. Town Court Special Prosecutor Hillary Thomas, $145 an hour. Attorney for Old Amenia Landfill, per contract, Kimberly Ray, Esquire, $200 an hour. Budget Officer, Supervisor, Consultant, $5,000. Secretary to Supervisor Annette Culligan, $15.45 an hour. Typist part-time, Tara Morey, $15.45 an hour. Code Enforcement Officer Michael Singleton, $38,117.36 salary. Deputy Building and Fire Inspector Donald Smith, $25 an hour. Building Administrative Assistant Katrina Gore Alexander, $17.51 an hour. Registrar of Vital Statistics Dawn Marie Klingner, $10 per transaction. Tax Collector Dawn Marie Klingner, $4,681.35 salary. Bank Reconciliation Clerk Tanya Shook, $15.45 an hour. Planning Board Secretary Larissa Delango, $15.45 an hour. Zoning Board of Appeals Secretary Susan Metcalf, $16.97 an hour. Planning Board Chairman Joseph Fontaine, $2,601.25 salary. Planning Board and ZBA Attorney Dave Everett, Esquire, $225 an hour. First Deputy Town Clerk Nancy Luther, $15.45 an hour. Second Deputy Town Clerk Valerie Kolowitzki, $15.45 an hour. Assessor's Clerk Donna Morrison, $15,276.84 salary. Data Collector John Lloyd, $17.42 an hour. Chief Police Constable Christopher Klingler, $16.98 an hour. Police Constables Jason Dean, Brett Johnson, Wayne Jackson, Francis Lansing, $15.60 an hour. Justice Clerk Maureen Moore for Honorable Moore, and Justice Clerk Dawn Marie Klingler for Honorable Divine, $16,429.63 salary. Highway Foreman Andy Wheeler, $23.12 an hour. 40-hour week. Highway laborers, Alan Wilbur, $22.52 an hour, 40-hour week. Darren Peterson, $21.16 an hour, 40-hour week. Megan Chamberlain, $22.11 hour, 40-hour week. Arthur Parrott Sr., $21.61 an hour, 40-hour week. Highway Office Manager Judith Carlson, $15.92 an hour, a 15-hour week. Groundskeeper Cleaner John Culligan, $15.60, 20-hour week. Recreation Groundskeeper Sean Howard, $18.20 an hour. Assistant Recreation Groundskeeper Charles Maybill, $15.45 an hour. Videographer Public Access Mike Flint, $6,012.01 salary. Animal Control Officer Anthony DeBonis, $9,597 salary. Grant Writer Michael Haggerty, $26.80 an hour. Summer Recreation Director Kathleen Howard, $18.36 an hour.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Okay, motion.
Motion to execute agreement to spend highway funds in 2016.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to make the following appointments without salaries. Deputy Supervisor Vicki Doyle, Town Historian Arlene Iulio, Deputy Superintendent, Highway Superintendent Andy Wheeler, ZBA Chairman Jeff Barrett Winsby, All Hazard Mitigation Victoria Perotti, Records Management Officer Dawn Marie Klinger, Deputy Tax Collector Nancy Luther Valerie Kowalski, Deputy Register of Vital Statistics Nancy Luther and Valerie Kowalski.
Second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to approve $1 million bonding for town officials, the supervisor, deputy supervisor, secretary to town supervisor, bookkeeper and alternate bookkeeper, each town clerk and deputy town clerk, each town tax collector and deputy tax collector, each code enforcement officer and administrative assistant, each justices to each of the two, court clerks, each of the two, constables, each of the four, highway superintendent and deputy, each one of those.
There should be 5 constables.
It should be 5.
Sorry,
No, that's,
No, that's okay.
5 each of the constables.
A second?
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Motion to establish mileage reimbursement at federal rate of 54 cents a mile.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Next. 14.
Motion to continue contract SEBI Environmental Services, Inc. for water treatment to the Water District, $30,000 contractual.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
No.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Mike? Motion to pay
I'm
bills.
sorry. Motion to pay bills by resolution, utilities, postage meter, copy machine maintenance, rents, debt service, and employee benefits.
Second?
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to name M&T Bank Corp., Bank of Millbrook, and Salisbury Bank and Trust Company the official depositories for town funds.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Is that me?
Yes.
Motion to name M&T Bank Corp., Bank
We
of Mill...
just did that
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. Motion to designate the Millerton News as the official town newspaper.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Motion to authorize all boards to use tape recorders for aid with minutes with the understanding that the tape does not replace typed and accepted minutes.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. At the top.
Motion to accept town board auditors as noted. General Fund, Councilman Doyle, Councilman Delango, Councilman Hitzelberger, Councilman Gutierrez. Highway Fund, Councilman Doyle, Councilman Delango, Councilwoman Hitzelberger, Councilman Gutierrez. Water District, Councilwoman Doyle, Councilman Delango, Councilwoman Hitzelberger, Councilman Gutierrez.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to accept town board appointments to standing committees as notice. Recreation Committee, Gutierrez, Doyle. Amenia Housing Commission, Delango, Hitzelberger. Wastewater, Gutierrez, Delango. Enhancement, Delango, Doyle. Conservatory Advisory Council, Doyle, Hitzelberger. Emergency Response Safety, Gutierrez, Hitzelberger. Ethics, Delango, Gutierrez. Kitchen, Delango, Hitzelberger. Water District, Delango, Gutierrez. Trail to Train, Hitzelberger, Gutierrez. Alternate to all standing committees, Supervisor Perotti.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to designate emergency interim successors, 3 for Dutchess County Emergency Response. Council members Vicky Doyle, Mike Delango, P. Damian Gutierrez.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Is this me? Motion to appoint Deputy Supervisor Vicky Doyle to represent the town of Amenia at the 2016 Association of Towns meeting in New York City with Supervisor Perotti as an alternate.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Motion to authorize the supervisor's bookkeeper to do pre-audit functions of vouchers, including math accuracy, checking for sales slips, delivery slips, and paid bills by municipal employee receiving goods.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Councilman Delango? I already
Yes.
asked you. Yes. And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to authorize a charge of $20 on each check tendered as payment and return for insufficient funds, including lost payroll checks.
Second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to authorize the supervisor's bookkeeper to make certificate of deposits and money market investments of available funds.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion that Cedar and Company perform the annual cash audit procedures as required in Town Law Section 123 and the Uniform Justice Court Action Section 2019-A as described in the Fiscal Oversight Responsibilities of the Governing Board published by the New York State Comptroller's Office. These procedures will be applied to the offices of the Supervisor, Town Clerk, Tax Collector, and Justice Courts for the year ended December 31st, 2015.
Second?
Is there a discussion on this?
Yes.
Didn't we get the email from another accountant that was offering his services?
Yes, we did.
I mean, is this something we could, approve now and look at? I just kind of wanted to compare prices.
Well, we already voted to accept Cedor's contract at a prior meeting.
Okay. So we can't look at other pricing?
Well, not if we've already accepted their contract. We can look at other pricing for, for next year. I keep it on file. But I looked at the information that he sent us. It looks like he takes care of mostly fire districts.
Okay.
And right now, they've already started getting the information together for the AUD that's due the end of February to the Comptroller's Office.
Okay.
But when we're doing the budget, we can do that.
Okay.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
I'm sorry, who was the second on that?
Perotti?
Thank you. Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
No.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion that all monthly bank reconciliations of town clerk and town bookkeeper be made by an outside party.
Second?
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Motion that monthly budget reports be distributed to all department heads and the complete monthly budget report be distributed to the town clerk for public viewing by town bookkeeper.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Tori, I had one other question about something that came on the backside. The bank reconciliation clerk, that's the one that does the monthly bank reconciliation for the town clerk and the town bookkeeper?
No, the town clerk has someone else.
I
do
have
it.
Tanya Shuck.
Okay.
She has Valerie Kulikowski's doing it.
Okay.
Valerie does it for us.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. Anytime. You have a question, ask.
My turn.
29.
Motion that the town board has the responsibility to authorize the attendance of all officers and employees at conferences and training sessions as specifically required per General Municipal Law 77-B.
Second?
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to accept 2016 schedules for the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board.
Second?
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to reappoint the following members to committees and boards. Planning Board, Joseph Fontaine, Chair, Anthony Robustelli, Peter Clare, Eric McEnroe, John Stephanopoulos, David Rosenberg, Matt Deaster. Zoning Board of Appeals, Jeff Barnett Winsby, Chair, David Mengat, Kevin Casone, John Metcalf, Paula Pelosi. Board of Assessment Review, Anthony Robert, Winifred Couture, Vern Fish, Herb Schwagert, Steve Bernadette. Recreation Committee, Christopher Klingner, Linda Gregory, Larissa DeLanga, Christine Ford, Rick Langu, Chip Watt, Michelle Samaji. Ethics, Jean Thornton Schwager, Carolyn McEnroe, Charlotte Murphy, Kevin Casone. Conservation Advisory Council, Dave Regan, Chair, Arlene Giuliano, Mark Doyle, Michael Peak, Anna Hayek. Emergency Response Committee, Dawn Marie Klingner, Chair, Stanley Whitehead, Mark Christensen, Christopher Howard, Virgil Shook Jr., Marco D'Antonio, Michael Segelpin. Enhancement Committee, Kevin Casone, Tony Castro, Eric Eschbach. Trail to Train Committee, David Regan, Martin Grossman. Wastewater, Anthony Robustelli, Brad Rebellard, Martin Grossman, Marco D'Antonio, Victoria Alexander. Water District Committee, May Jones, Chair, Bill Carroll. Martin Grossman, Marco D'Antonio. He wasn't on it as a member of the committee.
Where do you want to just take that off then? And then
Norm
just-
Kayea.
Norm K.
Kitchen Committee, Wayne Uvrard, Chair, Linda Gregory, Evelyn O'Connell, Charlene Pollinger, Alan Gamble. Workforce Housing Board, Sue Gregory, Mary Mahaffey, Sally Cavella.
Second.
That's Cavallo, C-A-V-A-L-L-O.
It's A.
It's an A.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 A's.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
And that's as amended.
Is that me? Motion that the town clerk maintains custody of all original records, minutes, contracts, grants, and documents from the committees, boards, and vendors.
Second.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prodi?
Yes. Motion to appoint Cedar and Company, Linda Hannigan as CPA support.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Motion to execute Resolution 1 of 2016 constables authorized to carry firearms.
Second that.
This is the resolution. You want to read that?
I think you got it.
Can you read it?
Read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Whereas the town board in the town of Amenia adopted a town constable local law number 3 of 2007 on 9/20/2007, and whereas pursuant to the town constable local law number 3 of 2007 and resolution number 1 of 2010, the town board may adopt a resolution authorizing a town constable to carry a firearm while carrying out his official duties, subject to the town constable complying with noted conditions. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes each of the following town constables to carry the firearm identified in this resolution while carrying out his official duties as town constable. Constable Christopher Klinger, firearm Glock 23, 40 caliber, Glock 42, 380 caliber. Jason Dean, Glock 23, 40 caliber. Brett Johnson, Glock 22, 40 caliber, Glock 21, 45 caliber. Dwayne Jackson, Glock 17, 9mm, Smith & Wesson 915, 9mm. Francis Lansing, Glock 23, 40 caliber. Be it further resolved that the authority granted to each town constable by this resolution shall be subject to each town constable complying with the following conditions. A, the town constable must possess a New York State license to carry the authorized firearm pursuant to the Penal Law 400 at all times, and must keep proof of such license on file in the town hall. B, the town constable must satisfactorily complete the Department of Criminal Justice Services basic course for peace officers with firearms and deadly physical force training, and such other training as the town board and/or New York State law may require. C, the town constable must provide the authorized firearm at his/her own cost.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hetzelberger?
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Doyle?
I think I seconded it.
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
No.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion to execute Resolution Number 2 of 2016, adoption of investment policy. Whereas the town of Amenia is required by New York State law to have an investment policy regarding such funds as it collects and administers throughout the year, and whereas the New York State Comptroller's Office has provided towns with an approved investment policy as a guideline to adopt, and whereas the town of Amenia wishes to comply with the law and the Office of the State Comptroller guidelines, be it there enacted that the town of Amenia adopts the attached investment policy to take effect immediately.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hetzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Supervisor's comments?
Before I do my goals for 2016, we have some other matters to take care of that was added to the agenda. One of them is a snow removal bid.
Okay, to date, local notice was published, posted, we've received one bid.
It is from Majestic Site Development and Landscaping. And it's for $12,000 to do the Amenia Town Hall and $24,000 to do Amenia and Wasatch.
So it's essentially the same bid.
Yes, for January through April.
I don't see it.
Is it possible for us to add to hire temporary people to perform this duty? Perhaps our recreation staff?
They have jobs, or one of them does.
And Stan isn't able to guarantee the snow removal at Town Hall until 9 or 10 o'clock, as I recall. Is that what you
That's
all-
just to do the horseshoe and plow in back of the building. That's not doing the sidewalks. So we have to decide whether to accept or reject the bid.
How much did we have budgeted for that line for 2016?
The same as last year, 17,000. We would have to take money out of contingency to cover it if we accept the bid.
Have we had Majestic before?
Last year.
Last
We
year.
used that last year, okay.
Well, we have to decide if we want to accept or reject the bid, or if we want to do snow removal for Wassaic and Amenia in the town hall.
I did speak with him. He has a little better plan of
Majestic.
doing downtown with the piles and stuff like that. You know, in front of the post office and in front of the main things. I mean, the plan sounds good. Like I said, it's a lot of work, and to get it done right, you got to pay for it. Just that little bit of snow that we had the last snowstorm, maybe 3 people cleaned their sidewalks in the town, in Amenia anyway. I could just imagine if we get a foot of snow.
Did it impede, you know, I mean, the fact that only 3 people cleared, is business going to be hampered?
It's winter in the Northeast. I
I
mean,
think it's going to be hard to get around
it,
our businesses and our hamlets.
it's just, again, like I said, for it to be a good job, we were going to have to pay.
And you think that's a reasonable price?
I
even
think
if
it's
we-
going along line with it. I mean, do I still agree with it? You know, but I still believe that the people that have the sidewalks in front of them should clean them.
They're going to have to clean them as well. They are
But,
going to.
you know, there's the points with the elderly and people are in the habit of us cleaning them for them.
And we
I
did,
mean, there's
and
going
we
to be a
did
lot of
have the,
tickets.
Yeah.
we did have the petition.
And we do want a downtown that is walkable and you can get to the businesses. I make a
And
motion
when
that
it
we...
snowed, it wasn't walkable this past snow because people didn't clean their sidewalks. Businesses, not all businesses clean their sidewalks.
I'll make a motion that we accept Majestic's bid of $10,000 to clear the town sidewalks, town hall sidewalks, and
It's 12. You said
it's 12. I'm sorry, it's 12,000 for that, and $24,000 for Amenia and Wasaic's sidewalks to also be cleared, for a total of $38,000.
6.
12 and 4. Is that a 4?
That's a 4.
It's 8. 38,000.
36.
Oh, I'm sorry, 36.
Is the bid the same amount as it came in at the beginning?
36,000. No, you're
It's a
right.
little
No,
lower from
it's
the
gotta be
beginning
right.
of the year.
It's a lot of money.
And there were no other bids.
There was one other bid in the first round that we accepted the bid and then the bidder backed out.
Got it.
Second?
Councilman Hitzelberger?
Nay.
Councilman Delango?
Can you come back to me?
Okay, sure. Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Do I go back to Councilman Delango or Perotti? Should be Delango.
I want to say no.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the second thing we have is Dutchess Community College wants to offer English as a second language, actually starting next Tuesday, tomorrow. And so we have a resolution authorizing a license agreement with Dutchess Community College for English as a second language. That was resolution number 3.
Yes.
At a meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Amenia held on at the Amenia Town Hall on the 4th day of January at 7:30 p.m., Town Supervisor Victoria Perotti called the meeting to order. I make that motion, seconded by.
I'll second it.
Introduce the following resolution to wit, whereas the Town of Amenia Town Board has determined that it is in the best interest of the town for the public to have a course of instruction available for learning English as a second language. Whereas Dutchess Community College can provide such a course at the Amenia Town Hall, provided the town makes available to them for at least 6 hours per week on Monday and Wednesdays between the hours of 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. for the period from January 1st, 2016 to January 1st, 2017, one classroom large enough to safely fit up to 30 students and one instructor. Whereas such a classroom is available at the Amenia Town Hall and is not currently being used by the town for town business. Whereas the town board now wishes to provide Dutchess Community College with a license to use one classroom on the second floor of the Amenia Town Hall building for the purpose of providing a course for English as a second language to members of the public. Whereas the town board wishes to authorize the town supervisor to enter into a license agreement in the form attached hereto with Dutchess Community College to allow Dutchess Community College to use one classroom on the second floor of the Amenia Town Hall, excuse me, for the purpose of offering an English as a second language course to members of the public for no more than 6 hours per week between the hours of 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays for the period from September 1st. Oh, that's the wrong date. It would be from January 1st, 2016 to January 1st, 2017. Whereas the authorization to enter into a license agreement for the use of a classroom in Amenia Town Hall is a Type 2 action that is exempt from SECRA. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorize the issuance of a license to Dutchess Community College to allow Dutchess Community College to use one classroom on the second floor of the Amenia Town Hall for the purpose of offering English as second language course to members of the public for no more than 6 hours per week between the hours of 6 and 9 p.m. Is Monday and Wednesday
It's
correct?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
It's okay, so we need to change that to Tuesday and Thursday.
On the first page. So.
Yeah, so the resolution is modified. Be it further resolved that the Amenia Town Board hereby authorize the supervisor of the town to enter into and execute any documents necessary or incidental to effectuate the license to Dutchess Community College, including but not limited to the signing of the license agreement with Dutchess Community College in the form attached hereto. Is there a second?
Vicki Doyle seconded your motion.
Okay.
And that is as amended?
As amended.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. The other thing I have is we did receive a contract from Pine Plains Veterinary to house animals. So we have 2 contracts. We have the SPCA contract that we were sent, and we also have the Pine Plains Veterinary Associates. Pine Plains Veterinary Associates will charge boarding charges, will increase from $18 per dog per day to $22 per dog. And the and the holding period will still remain up to 15 days. I believe the SPCA, it's $40. Yes, its boarding fee is $40 a day. So there's a substantial difference. Does someone want to make a motion that we accept the contract with Pine Plains Veterinary to board strays?
I make that motion to accept the contract with Pine Plains Veterinarian.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. And the last thing I have, I received a letter from Maplebrook School. Dear Ms. Perotti, thank you for your letter requesting the use of Maplebrook School's pool for Town of Amenia residents during the winter months. I am pleased to say the pool can be open on Sundays beginning January 2016 on the following dates: January 17, 24, 31st, and then February 7, 14, 21, 28. The program will be scheduled as follows: 5 to 6 p.m., 12 years and younger with adult supervision; 6 to 7 p.m. general swim, 7 to 8 p.m. adult swim. The conditions will be as established in past years. Maplebrook will pay the lifeguard and security, and the Town of Amenia will provide my office with a certificate of insurance. I've already sent this information to Byron Barnes so he can issue the certificate of insurance. So I have so that's basically information on it, if we have to take any action on that. Okay, supervisors, 2016 supervisor goals. 1, identify highway garage potential building sites and move forward with financing and construction. Oversee the completion of heating system and boiler upgrade with generator to change from steam to hot water boilers for greater energy efficiency. Meet all requirements for NYSERDA grant for pellet boiler cost reimbursement. Work with DOT and WSB cells to finalize Trail to the Train final design so financial planning and construction can begin in 2016. Complete commercial kitchen update according to architects' donated hours planned by working with grant writer and kitchen committee on grant applications to foundations and securing other monies. Continue ambulance service workshops at the Amenia Town Hall with Dutchess County Commissioner of Emergency Response Dana Smith, Amenia Ambulance Fire Company Fire District, and Wassaic Ambulance Fire Company Fire District committees to plan for 2017 ambulance service. Institute new water laws so everyone in the water district pays their fair share, in addition to upgrading the control system with an automatic dialer and a security system for the wells, treatment buildings, and storage tank. Town board comments?
I'm looking forward to serving for another 4 years and try and get some even more long-term goals actually accomplished. You know, the closure, the finalization of the landfill in the old Amenia landfill, turning it into a park, should be open hopefully in the spring. I guess that's the, it looks great, it looks inviting, and I'm looking forward to trying to enhance the public facilities there in a very cost-effective, low maintenance, and, you know, really maximize whatever we can with that newly available amenity for the town. I'd like to work more strongly with our committees and try and achieve small but achievable goals. I understand Damien's wife worked on a grant to try and improve the design of the rail trail extension at the Wassaic side, and I hope that our committees can work closely with that group and incorporate whatever we can with those grant monies and keep adding to the amenities that will be on that rail trail and seeing that to fruition in the next couple of years, hopefully. I'd like to see the dance program continue to expand and improve every year. I was so glad to see 22 wonderful children participate in that program. I think it can only get bigger and better, and I want to see the auditorium continue to improve slowly but surely, get additional curtains up to help with the sound, acoustics, and try and put up some panels and work with other nonprofit groups to try and make that auditorium a venue for cultural and musical performances of all kinds. We have a lot of talent in this community, and I think we have the space here, and we have a wonderful crew here at the town hall providing support to programs like that, and I can't thank Michael Seglican and John Culligan for working hard with me to make that show come off in the auditorium as safe and up-to-date as we can, and working slowly over time with a very limited budget. They're doing a great job, and I want to just see that continue in that reasonably modest, but I do think that we have to at some point get folding chairs and folding tables so that community programs can be held in the gym, so that we can maximize the space that we have. We're heating it, we're cooling it, we're doing everything, and yet we have to schlep tables and chairs from the fire company. It's really archaic. So I think in a budget of this big, that we should find a couple of bucks, a couple of $1,000s to buy 10, 20 tables and 50 chairs, folding chairs, to get us up and running and get the kitchen up and running. We have 15,000. I think we should try and get something done so that it's we can heat and cool food in a reasonably modest manner, and work towards those goals for 2016 and 2017.
Is there any other public comment or town board comment?
I'm going to be working, continue working towards understanding and going over the finances for the town, as well as working with the town clerk's office and the other members, the other employees here at Town Hall, to make sure that the information that we have here is out and available to anybody who wants to get it on the website as quickly as they want to. So that's really going to be my focus this year.
I would like to see some improvements amongst ourselves as far as vouchers. I would like to see if we can have a specific time and specific date every month to sign the vouchers, because then all of us could look at the vouchers and we're not, making appointments that we can't. I know there's a couple times I said I'd be here at 1 o'clock. I get busy and I'm not here till 4 o'clock. I would like to see an actual appointment made, a set time where the bookkeeper could be on the same thing. If a voucher comes in after the time that we've signed them, they got to go on next month's bills. I would like to see that. I would like to see how we're signing resolutions a little better. Instead of waiting until the end of the meeting, I believe if we vote on a resolution, if the paper could get passed down and we sign it right after the resolution is approved. Waiting to the end of the meeting, we want to get out of here, especially after these long meetings and stuff like that. We forget to sign stuff. We don't sign stuff. I would like to see something in place where if we take a vote on a resolution, it's going to take 30 seconds to pass it down the table, and we all sign it. So I got the resolutions. I got the vouchers. I do agree with Vicki that with the $15,000 that we do have for the kitchen, we should be able to get something in there so at least we could use this kitchen. The way that the grants are going, I don't see this commercial kitchen becoming reality anytime soon. I think we should get it so we can at least use it. It's a great idea with the folding chairs, the folding tables. Let's start using what we have. That's it for me.
As the rookie, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody for their support, including all of you on the board. You guys have helped me out a lot and helped me get caught up, and I appreciate the time. I'd like to focus on some of the issues that I heard when I was out going door to door, specifically helping the revitalization of Wasaik's business district, helping Victoria and the Train to the Trail Committee, Trail to the Train Committee, hopefully get that accomplished within the next 4 years. My turn.
Oh, God.
Is that too ambitious?
Well, actually, we're almost through final design.
Great, then that's
They just sent more comments to WSP Cell, and they answered them and went back, so we're close.
okay. Any way that I can help with that, I'd be more than happy to. And then one of the things that I heard was exploring the feasibility of bringing back the seniors activity monthly gathering. I believe it used to be held at the Wasaik Firehouse. I'm not sure really
Yes, it was.
why that ended, but I'd like to explore feasibility of bringing that back. And then, you know, the various committees that I'm serving, I look forward to helping as I can and working with the volunteers, and here's to a productive and fruitful 2016. Thanks.
I forgot one thing. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I'd like to
This is your
see-
time to speak.
I'd like to see some kind of open business list. We talk about a lot of stuff at the meetings, and the meetings get a little long sometimes, and we do sometimes talk about something, and we spend a good chunk of time talking about it, and then we kind of don't hear about it again. If we could have some kind of list to track open business.
Like new business, old business, that kind
New
of thing.
business, old business, just so we could keep on track, like the water laws. We had a public hearing for the water laws, and then we were going to change stuff, and we haven't talked about them in 4 meetings, 5 meetings, you know? Just something like, when I have a plan to do something, I rather finish one thing and then move on to the next. If we have 20 balls up in the air, it's hard to keep focus on those balls. I rather start something, work at it, finish it, move on to the next project. I know it's not possible all the time, but if we have a list and we can actually just run down, check it off, we finished that, or we finished that, or Mike was supposed to get back to me on this, you know, he didn't. I just think it would be a little more organized, even if it's something that we started in the beginning of the meeting. You know, what's open business? Did we close this? Did we work through this? Did we not? Just, it would help me a lot on the board.
Okay.
Well, since we can double dip, I'd like to discuss right now a cutoff time for information coming out to the board, and like to make a motion, not making one right now, Dawn, as to exactly when that time will be, to get information an hour before the meeting, when the meeting starts, and to have to read through it and fact check is not possible when whoever's had the information, you know, has obviously had it. So either let's set a dead certain all info for the next meeting has to be distributed out by, you know, such and such a day and time, and that's it. Anything else, it's just going to have to wait till the next meeting. And if we have to have a special meeting, well, we had, you know, 1 or 2 special meetings pretty much every month anyway. So, you know, there'll be another time to discuss it, but it'll give us a chance to read through, do the proper research, and do the fact checking that needs being done. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I agree. There are some stuff that's going to come up, though,
Right.
that, you know,
can't-
could be
There's
an
an
exception
exception
to
to
the
every
rule.
rule,
Right.
but,
You know, but I mean, I do agree, there are some things that I am reading, you know, 20 minutes before the meeting and stuff like that. I mean, if we're going to have a resolution, the resolution coming in at 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, it's kind of tough. You know, if we could put a deadline on these resolutions, we have 2 weeks in between meetings.
So actually, you should receive the resolutions the same day as the agenda.
It would be helpful because then we have a couple days to read them.
So okay, well, that'll be a goal.
So in that case, let's
If not sooner.
start with, I'd like to make a motion that,
This is a real one this time?
yes, this is the real one,
Okay.
that the agendas and all supporting documentation be sent out by, that's Monday at noon, Victoria? Monday at noon prior to the town board meetings.
Well, Monday at noon is when the agenda has to go out.
And we'll start there, and do I have a second?
A second.
My concern is that
Sometimes
there
that
should
isn't
be
possible.
a caveat that if it's time-sensitive information and there's a reason why it needs to be a decision made, because we wouldn't have passed half of those resolutions for Silo Ridge, and to hold up an applicant until we can advertise for another special meeting because we haven't had a chance. I mean, it's a decision that we should be able to override that requirement, because if we're not allowed to consider those documents because they didn't come in on time, then you may be holding up
Then
another
at the time of the
project.
receipt of those documents, make a motion
The
that
documents
that
were in, we didn't get
that
the
one-
resolutions in time.
I didn't see all the
Those
documents.
those resolutions with Silo Ridge, all the wastewater stuff, we had months ago.
I didn't see.
We didn't have the resolution from Denise until the day of the meeting.
Well, those.
That's because
we
the
have to
information
make
was going
decisions.
back and forth.
We have to
between
make
her and
decisions,
Dave.
I think. At times, there will be times when
Well,
there
at
are.
times, we're going to receive the information, and then I think what we can do is, you know, Monday, we get the agenda with all of the attachments necessary. And then on Thursday, when we get all of this late incoming information, we make a motion to accept and consider that late incoming information.
On a case-by-case basis.
On a case-by-case basis,
Right.
make the exception, you know, an
As needed.
exception.
Okay.
And that'll tell us over the course of the year where our problems are with getting this documentation, you know. 9 times out of 10, it's not coming from within this building, within our staff. 9 times out of 10, it's because some outside agency is throwing stuff at us at the last minute. Maybe there are some yearly things that we could be proactive on, you know, for example, something from the county, for example. So this will allow us, I think, to take a look at that.
But on the other hand, there's a lot of information that I send out that have been sent out months ago that I know can be overwhelming. For example, the water laws. So, you know, when you get it, you really need to read it, make notes and do whatever, because you know, it's an ongoing process.
Well,
And you have to read your emails.
It comes into play also, like you said, the water loss. I mean, we've had the water loss for, you know, we had the water loss for 3 months, but then we're commenting on them at the meeting. I do believe we should be doing our due diligence as board members and actually read this stuff. And if we have questions amongst ourselves, to communicate as a board via email. I know we can't make decisions as a board through
No, but you
email
can
and
ask
stuff like that, but we can ask questions. If I don't understand something, and Vicki, you might understand it better than me, I ask a question, and we don't have to waste time at the meeting for something that could have been dealt with 2 weeks prior.
For my 2 cents, it seems to me that the water law was so complicated and there's so many issues that having a special meeting where we just sit down and we have discussions.
I was just using
That
the
was
water law
fairly
as a
And we
for
did
instance.
that.
Yeah, it's just one of those convoluted
Yeah, no,
ones that
I
just
agree.
bog down the whole town board meeting. And if we can take it in parts and finish it, maybe at a special meeting where people who are really interested in that water law can attend if they want to.
Well, like I said, I would almost like more of an open communication between the board, between everybody. I mean, Damien, you reached out the other night about the committee. I read the email, picked it up, wasn't a problem to me. Something like that should be cleared up. Instead of waiting to the meeting and saying, hey, you want to swap things with me? Stuff like that is what I'm talking about. Amongst ourselves, we could be talking about it, and you'd be surprised how much stuff we could get done before the meeting's even here, and it'll make things go a lot smoother, I feel.
But so Gretchen, you're saying specifically that for new items, not items that may have been set in the past and then just not dealt with, but for new items that come after the Monday noon deadline, you're suggesting that we qualify them on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that seems fair.
So Councilwoman Hitzelberger,
Aye.
Councilman Delango,
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle,
Yes.
and Supervisor Perotti.
What is the,
The motion is that to have the agenda and all supporting documents sent by noon on Monday.
With the qualification that we'll consider anything after that
On a
on a
case-by-case basis.
case-by-case basis.
She didn't actually make that motion,
She
but
didn't make that motion.
you want to amend it or you want to leave it as it is?
The discussion, conversation will go in there and we'll say what you guys said.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you want to amend
we
it to
can,
show.
we don't need to amend it, we can simply take
Oh.
it on as a case-by-case basis.
Case basis.
So there's no need to amend the motion that
well, I
four
think
of us
there
have
is.
already
I don't
voted
think it's
on.
clear.
I have 4 ayes.
No.
Again, I'd like to take this opportunity to echo Damien and thanking the voters. I received my letter from New York State Retirement congratulating me on my successful 10 years here with the town of Amenia. So I thought my 5-year plan now has become 10 years. So again, thank you, Amenia voters, for this past November. In the town clerk's office, we're going to continue streamlining all of the information as we currently do, working with the board members, ensuring that everything is online as close to Friday, if not Monday, after the meeting. That way, those that are watching the meetings can go on and look at the documents that we're presenting. There is a lot of reading that goes on in these resolutions, and it's just sometimes just as easy to go onto the internet and read what they've said, so you can have a better understanding of all of our resolutions.
Dawn, did you want to change the update date from Monday to Friday?
We'll keep Monday, just so
Alright.
that way if there's some things going on. And continuing with us here working, Mike, I'm going to echo you what the open communication, because it is not just the board, the town clerk does work closely with all of the board members in streamlining as much as the information, CCing all members on all of the emails, so that way that open door communication does exist. I think that is an area that could be looked at more closely, because it's currently not happening. So if we continue, taking all the insights and continuing through the year, that way, those of us that are opening up the folder, it's not the first time we're seeing it. I went ahead and after our last meeting on the 17th, I spoke to the attorney as well as some of our surrounding town clerks to how to better mainline the resolutions. When I first started as town clerk, it was pointed out to me it's noisy, it's cumbersome listening to the paper shuffle. So that's when we started collecting them here. There used to be a time we did pass it to the end. Not always were they put back in the folder at the end. So we just found we tried to do those housekeeping issues. And one way we found that we can correct that is we no longer have the board members sign them. We changed the language on the resolutions and just the clerk signs them. And I take the vote and I swear and I attest to how you voted, so you don't need to sign. So that is an option if the board wants to go ahead. We can change the language in all of the resolutions. We can mimic Dover or Millbrook. I spoke to some of the other girls that next day and see how we can go ahead. Having the vote and me signing off on it, I don't need your signature. So, we did look into that. So, these types of ideas, I welcome the email so we can have them resolved prior to coming into the meeting. So if that's what you would like to do,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that happen. And be the bearer of the bad news on such a wonderful evening. Taxes are in and will be mailed this week. If you don't receive your taxes by the end of the month, please contact the town clerk's office.
One more thing I
Get that
forgot.
revenue in for you. I don't want to hear you guys talk about it.
Thank you to all the voters for electing me again for another 4 years. I do appreciate it, and I look very much forward to finishing up some long-held goals that I think we're on the cusp of getting done. Very excited.
Dawn, did you want to put the button back up for taxes?
I believe it is already back up.
Awesome.
Already did that. I'm kind of excited to start the taxes 2 weeks early.
It's kind of sick.
It's just a lot of work.
Is there any other town board comments? Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I like that. 8:41.